Liverpool vs Real Madrid was an absolute demolition. A demolition that made absolutely no sense and came out of left field. Because before the game, I was seeing all the memes about, oh, Mbappe running in behind and Konate trying to chase him. Real Madrid slapping Liverpool about 15-0. And to be honest, that's also what I expected to happen. But as you all know, Liverpool played Real Madrid in game week 3 of the Champions League group stage, and it was an absolute battering. Liverpool's best performance of the season by a country mile. I mean, the whole team turned up. We were seeing the whole squad put in 10 out of 10 performances. Even Conor Bradley, this guy was playing like prime Cafu. I don't know what it is with Conor Bradley, but whenever he plays Real Madrid at Anfield, he turns into the greatest left back to ever grace the game. He kept Vinny in his pocket. But it wasn't just Conor Bradley, but even the biggest stinker of them all, Florian Wirtz, put in an absolute outstanding performance. Now, I've always said that Real Madrid are the black magic merchants, but the most magical thing they've ever done is somehow make Florian Wirtz look like a competent footballer. Because the guy who hasn't got a single goal contribution against teams such as Burnley somehow managed to drop an absolutely generational performance against Real Madrid. I can't lie, I had to start rubbing my eyes because I was really confused with what I was seeing. Madrid just looked really flat, and it really reminded me of the problems that they had last season. Mbappe not acting like a striker. Vinny was really not at his best against Liverpool. The midfield looked slow, off the mark. This was a complete night and day performance compared to the El Clasico. And their defense, holy shit. Huijsen, this guy, I don't know what he was playing at, but this guy was putting about 3% effort in the whole game. The only guy in that Madrid team that deserves any plaudits is Carreras, because he was the only Madrid player that looked like he wanted to win. And I know you're watching this video and asking, did Mohamed Salah actually somehow manage to perform? And to my absolute shock, I saw Mohamed Salah actually beat players this season. Did he get bullied a lot? Yes. Did Carreras have him in his pocket for most of the game? Yes. But Mo Salah actually did some stuff during the game, which compared to a lot of the games this season is a major improvement. But before we jump into the game, I wanted to address the elephant in the room, and that elephant being Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the ins and outs of that situation, but the amount of booing I was seeing at Trent, yeah, you would have thought this guy committed an actual war crime. I get that the way he left was something that really pissed Liverpool fans off, but despite that, come on, give the lad some credit. He won so much with you guys, but at the end of the day, it's not my business. I'm not really a Liverpool fan. So without further ado, let's finally get on into the game. We nearly saw another miracle happen 26 minutes into the game, with Florian Wirtz nearly getting an assist for Szoboszlai. But Courtois, who I'll tell you what, yeah, was playing like prime Neuer, Buffon, any good goalkeeper combined. He absolutely kept Real Madrid in the game, and he pulls off a massive save to deny Szoboszlai. And speaking on Szoboszlai, this guy has been the most under the radar player this season. He has been phenomenal for Liverpool, and genuinely him and Ekitike have been Liverpool's best performers across the season, along with Gravenberch, of course. But in that midfield, everyone seems to talk about Gravenberch, and nobody seems to give Szoboszlai the love or credit that he deserves. I get that he's played right back at points this season, but even when he was at right back, he was putting in unbelievable shifts. But he gets 2 more chances in very similar situations in the first half. Both were stopped by Courtois with some really good saves. And as I mentioned earlier, Real Madrid are the kings of black magic, and I really thought that they were going to somehow scam a 1-0 lead into the first half, with Bellingham coming so close to scoring. But at halftime, it was still 0-0, and Liverpool were clearly being the better team, which was something that I don't think anybody expected going into the game. And then at the start of the second half, Liverpool went on this really weird run of having incredibly good chances from 3 corners in a row. To be honest, I was absolutely perplexed how they still hadn't scored by this point. But then finally it came in the 60th minute. Szoboszlai, who I was just mentioning earlier, whips in a beautiful cross onto the head of probably the shortest man on the pitch, Alexis Mac Allister. And I'm sorry, but that header is absolutely phenomenal. To just glance it past Courtois is a heading technique that, to be honest, I wouldn't really expect from a man that's about 5'3". But at this point, I was really expecting to see Real Madrid step it up a level. I feel like this was going to be the wake-up call they needed to actually start playing football properly. And to my shock, I was actually incorrect. Except for that one Mbappe chance they had, Madrid just looked flat even after going 1-0 down. If anything, Liverpool could have easily made it 2-0. And I was really honestly disappointed to see that Madrid didn't even even look like they wanted to step it up. They didn't even look like they wanted to go for the win, even after going 1-0 down, which is something that is very reminiscent of the team that we saw last season at Real Madrid, and it's not something we've really seen so far from them this season. Honestly, this was by far Madrid's worst performance of the whole season. They probably had about an XG of 0.43. The whole team, like I said earlier, just looked terrible. Very reminiscent of the Ancelotti side that we saw last season, and to be honest, I hope that we don't see that again. I want to see Xabi Alonso implement his philosophy properly onto this Real Madrid squad. And as for Liverpool, if they continue playing like this in the league, then I'm sure that they will be right at the top of the table, competing with Arsenal for the title. But the only thing with Liverpool is that when teams play on the ground, they know how to play. But in the Prem, especially this season, we're seeing a lot more roughhousing, shithousing, dead ball techniques, which I just don't think that this Liverpool team can properly cope with. And as for Real Madrid, if they play like this in the league, then I'm sorry, but they are not going to get anywhere. They need to really step it up if they want to keep at the top of the La Liga table. But anyway, folks, that's all I really have time for today. Just a little coverage of the game. Let me know what you think of the game. If you think that this is a turnaround point for either team in their season. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, kiss the thumbs up button, make love to it. Share the video to anyone who you think would enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe, comment, whatever, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.